The pain of this place, it does feel real. You're not imagining how it feels. It is hard, and it feels very real. You know, avatars, little sections of source consciousness, undiluted by anything. Even the gods are diluted, are below, but a pure, undiluted little drop of the source of true infinity, not confined, but then was confined. Each drop is an avatar. Buddha, historical Buddha, Shakyamuni Buddha, Jesus Christ, Krishna. There are many other avatars. Those are the most well-known. Sri Ramakrishna is an avatar that I have a special affection for, though many people do not know that Sri Ramakrishna is an avatar. But these undiluted little drops from the source, once again, even the gods are diluted, are working their way back to union, a union that these avatars came down from for specific tasks. There's a reason that Jesus and Buddha, and even Krishna to a certain extent, and Sri Ramakrishna emphasized compassion and empathy. It's because everybody here is going through a battle against low vibration that it's understandable when we mess up, when we do bad things, when we're unkind, or when we fail in the eyes of society. It's understandable because we're up against some very low vibration here on this earth. And, you know, to use a little bit of Christian kind of understanding and explanation, in a way, this is a fallen world, if you look at it from the perspective of what is higher. It is also a risen world, if you look at it from the perspective of what is lower. We're stuck in between. So we're afflicted by lower vibration and higher vibration in equal magnitude. That's why there's some remarkable places on this earth, some heavenly places on this earth, but also some very hellish places on this earth, that it's really hard to be a good person. That it's hard to just get by without doing something bad, or without being complicit in something dark, even evil, if we're going to use the good and evil dynamic. But there are places on this earth that are like other hellish dimensions that are below this one. And there are places on this earth that are like heavenly dimensions above this one. Maybe the heavenly places on this earth aren't quite as heavenly as other dimensions that are higher. And maybe the hellish places on this planet aren't quite as hellish as the lower dimensions. Paramahansa Yogananda did say that the hells are not of fire, they are darkness and fear. When you see a lot of references to hells being a fire, it's talking about the fire of passion that we misuse on this earth, or we're misdirected by on this earth. It's not really a plane of burning. It is the hell that we accept when we choose anger, fear, and hatred on this planet, when we choose to take whatever passion we have and resolve it in all the incorrect ways. That is the fire, that is the hell that we can make on this planet within ourselves. But going back to my point, there's a reason why the avatars emphasize compassion and empathy, is because it's hard. It's hard here. We are under serious pressure from Maya, from illusion, delusion, from lower vibration. We are under assault. You could say other dimensions that are lower are constantly trying to get into this dimension, and we're under assault through the gateways that we least expect within our own brains. Our nervous systems are gateways that other beings can use if we allow them to. But regardless, I'd like to emphasize two stories that kind of explain how even these avatars I've been talking about, like Jesus and Sri Ramakrishna, that even they understand the pain that's here. It's not all just in your head. There is pain here. I'll get to the moral at the end, but there is pain here. So we'll start with the one that came first, Jesus Christ. As he was crucified, looking up to his Father and saying, Father, why hast thou forsaken me? Now, if we look at this from a Hindu and avatar perspective, the same thing that is in Jesus Christ is talking to the non-confined drop, but the grander ocean of the pure infinite source. That drop is looking up, and really is looking into his third eye and then through the pineal gland, what have you. But looking up, saying, Father, why hast thou forsaken me? He's looking up to the same quality of consciousness, but not confined. So he's talking to himself in a way. And how does this make sense? Once again, it's from a very Hindu perspective. We're talking about avatars and Jesus Christ being an avatar. Not all Hindus believe that Jesus Christ is an avatar. A limited amount, including myself, do. But this makes sense only if we realize that to be human, the whole point is to be limited. The whole point is to feel that separation and to work our way back. A drop of water that rains down into a pond, goes into a stream and goes into a river and tries to make its way back to the ocean. That is essentially what all souls are doing. And when that pure little section of consciousness, of God consciousness that was in Jesus Christ was referring to and talking to the grander consciousness that is God, that is source, God, whatever you want to call it, goddess, whatever pronoun you want to use, it's most accurate to call it it. It's also accurate to call it nothing, because it's not a thing, it's everything, it's an umbrella, at any rate. But that Jesus Christ is acknowledging the pain of being human, not necessarily the pain he was feeling, though he chose to feel pain. He chose to take that pain onto himself and to feel that pain, even though he could have cut it off at any moment and stopped feeling that pain. He had that mastery over his body. At that level, you can cut off pain, you can stop pain, but he chose to experience pain. He chose to experience what it is to be human in a very, very human moment when he's being influenced and caught and tortured by some very low vibration people. Some people that are influenced by using that passion that we talked about in the worst ways, that fear, that anger, that fear of authority, and that anger towards him as some kind of rebel. Using that and resolving it by hurting him, he is acknowledging so much of what it is to be human when he's saying, Father, why hast thou forsaken me? Even though that what he's referring to is the same quality of him, it's also him. To be separate, to be apart from, that's what it is to be human, to work our way back towards. We choose how we see this life. There is no doubt that there will be pain, that there is pain, that there is agony. We are all crucified on the three-dimensional cross. Time, space, consciousness. Now, the reason time and space are flat is because time and space, they are a mechanism. They are a ticking clock. They are prakriti. They are what surround material. They are the body around the heart. They are the body around the soul, around the spirit. Consciousness, that is the essence. That is soul. And the soul that is in you, the consciousness that is in you, while diluted by Maya, under some kind of delusion by Maya, that it is separate, that is something else, that it is its person right now. That piece of consciousness that is within you has the same potential to be as clear as an avatar's consciousness, to have the same power as an avatar, to see God, to feel God, and to be as being one with oneself. I can say that all day, but there's a difference between saying that and realizing it. I have not fully realized that. I can say that, but I have not fully realized it. What realization means is that it is truer to my experience than this illusion and delusion that I'm a part of, that is Maya, that is this world, that is this separation as of me being Hunter. That realization has to be realer than Hunter is real for it to be fully integrated. for it to be my reality, my new reality of oneness. So Jesus was weeping on behalf of humanity. He didn't die for our sins. He didn't actually die on the cross at all because he slowed down his breathing, he slowed down his blood pressure. He used that technique to appear dead, taken down. He was still alive, then he went to India. You don't have to believe any of that. But at least understand this. He didn't die for our sins because somebody had to be punished and there was a God that demanded somebody be punished for all the wrongs of the world and what was happening to Jesus. God didn't just have a lightning bolt. He wasn't some white-haired dude on a cloud with some lightning bolt just waiting to strike down all of humanity for what they were doing to Jesus and what they have done to each other for as far back as man has been a thing before that. It's not quite like that. He didn't die for our sins. He died acknowledging the pain of being human and trying to show us a way out of it. He talked about, I am the way, I am the path, I and my Father in heaven are one. It wasn't because he was talking about that one body that surrounded that little drop of pure source consciousness. He wasn't talking about his body. He wasn't talking about that one drop in him. To think so is to completely misunderstand Christ. He was talking about the state of being that we can all reach, the purification we can all reach, the correction of thought we can all reach, self-correction, and the purity that we can all reach in purifying away the illusion, the delusion, using the passion that we all feel because we're in these human bodies in the correct ways, not to enact on others, but to change ourselves in positive ways. To place our higher virtues extremely high and actually try to achieve them on an individual level. To actually try. Not to just kind of say, I believe in this and I kind of do this from time to time, but actually try. That means that Christ, in a way, he knew what was going to happen to him. He chose to allow himself to suffer as an example, but to not hate, even though he could have hated those who were hurting him. Showing us that hate is not the way. And that even in our darkest moments, when we're being crucified, it is best to look up and acknowledge the source that we are all working towards. And I'll give you another example. Sri Ramakrishna, Avatar, late 1800s. Swami Vivekananda was his disciple. He spoke at the Conference for World Religions in Chicago and I believe it was, I can't remember if it was 1890 or 1908, somewhere around there. But pretty recent avatar, and avatars get acknowledged later on. They're never acknowledged very close to their birth. It took Jesus a long time to get a lot of people that believed in him. Well, he wasn't around, of course, for the hundreds of years that it took for him to get a big following. But Sri Ramakrishna will be acknowledged in a future date, or by more people at a future time. But even Sri Ramakrishna, a drop of the Divine Mother. He taught us we could worship God as Mother. That's one of the things that Sri Ramakrishna taught. He also came to acknowledge every other avatar and show that every single religion can be followed and reach the goal of God realization through it, and he did. But even when he had days, he could go into samadhi, he could sit down and correct his nervous system and experience oneness with God once again, go into samadhi. But in the times when he wasn't doing that and he was experiencing human birth, he was experiencing the Maya, the delusion, the feeling of separation, the pain of the fear and the anger, and experiencing that in a negative way, choosing to feel what it is to be afraid, to be regretful, to be angry, to be frustrated. He chose to feel all that, and there would be times when he was hitting his head on the ground saying, it has been another day and I have not experienced you, Mother. I have not become one with you, Mother. I have not seen you, Mother. It's been a whole day, hitting his head on the ground again and again and again. Now he's an avatar. He can correct this at any moment. But he's choosing to feel the separation that we all feel and we all think is normal, and we all just feel like that's what it is to be human. and to use our passions incorrectly. That's just what it is to be human. That's our common experience, so we just accept it. But he's hitting his head on the ground again and again and again, and lamenting what we consider as life, what we consider as commonplace, what we consider as just another day. He's lamenting it on our behalf. Not seeing God, not experiencing God for a whole day. And I imagine that when avatars allow themselves to be frustrated or angry, that when they allow themselves to go through that, for those of us who can really understand what's going on, it is a profound level of compassion and empathy that they're showing towards us. And that is the divine itself showing us compassion and empathy, saying, it really does suck down here. It's bad. It's not great. This is painful, and I'm sorry. And that's the biggest message. That's the biggest message of Christ and Sri Ramakrishna. I'm sorry that you're here. I know this is painful. Here's the way. Here's a way, at least. Follow me back. Of course, most of us don't get it, and things get mistranslated, and people don't write the right words down, and then different religions and different sects are formed, and we start arguing about all the wrong things. And we stop asking, or maybe we never ask, the most important questions. And they're never who's right. There's what is the way that we perfect ourselves so that we can get back to what we were? A lot of people don't believe that we ever achieve oneness with God, or that there is multiple ways to practice spirituality. And maybe I'm not speaking to those people. But if there's some kind of truth, or you kind of get what I'm saying, use everything that you have. Turn every passion that is negative, turn it on its head and gear it towards something positive, something that fills you with wholeness, rather than makes the hole that we like to fill with other things bigger. I know this is a very vague statement, but I'm trying to speak to a lot of different people at once. You can place your highest virtue as high as whatever you believe will allow you to wherever that is, will allow you to place it. And you can shoot for that. There's no reason that you can't. Try not to give excuses. Excuses won't get you out of this pain, out of this misery, out of this state that we call what it is to be human. Excuses won't get you out of it. And just following materialistic dreams won't get you out of it. And just experiencing, just enjoying the senses and not having higher aspirations won't get you out of pain. It'll increase pain. Deep down, you kind of know a way out of this. You just have to sit with yourself in silence and clear your head. Give yourself a chance to not be inflicted by this condition that we have. Meditate, clear your head. You can think far more clearly when your emotions are not all riled up, or you can think more clearly when they're not all negative. We can use emotion. Turn all the passions positive. It's possible. You can do it. Don't make excuses. Search, seek, and you will find. And he who knocketh, the door will be opened unto him. Doing a lot of Bible phrases today. Sorry, I usually don't talk about Christianity this much, but I see it as another path. It's not my preferred path. I'm a Shakta, but I see it as another path. And I think that you kind of know which way you need to go. You don't need me to tell you, and you don't need somebody else to tell you. You just have to clear your head. And you just have to place the virtues that you do hold dear, that you just naturally hold dear as a person. You just gotta place your target as high as you can. And don't think that there's anything stopping you from reaching it. Even though there's plenty of things that can influence you to where it's really hard to get up there. But you can still do it. I think that was the message of the avatars, and I think that's my message today. You can do it. As simple as that sounds, you really can. At any rate, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for listening to me rant. I hope this was useful. I hope this was helpful. Like this video or give it a heart. It really helps out the channel. Feel free to leave a comment. I try to get to all comments, and I read all comments, and they're very much appreciated. And feel free to share this wherever you like. At any rate, thank you very much for watching, and I hope all of you have a wonderful day.